ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್?
I just go pray to my TV. ಈ ಕೇಬಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಕೇಬಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
We are clueless.
ಹಿರೇ ಮಗಳು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞ used to start. So she used to understand what is trending in terms of looks. My sister's getting a note in her diet. I just to do like method dressing and dress like the heroine and go to the film. Very kindly and the whole gang of Kirik Party, all the boys came up to the Kannada Sangha event. Now we have ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದ್ವಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಷನ್ ಗೆ ಇವ್ರ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Ladies Compartment. Usually ನಮ್ಮ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಹೋಸ್ಟು 2-4 ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇವತ್ತು 2 ಹೋಸ್ಟು 1 ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲೂಲೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್. ಸೊ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಇವರು ಟಿವಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏಡಿಯಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಪಿಯಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟು ಸಹ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ಅವ್ರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ದು ಅದು ಸೀನ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ವಿ ವರ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ವೈ ಇಸ್ ಶಿ ನಾಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್? ಸೊ ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರು ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ MA in ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೌ ಶೀ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಶೀ ಈಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಂಟಿಸಿಪೇಟೆಡ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ. I'm sorry, I'll take it right. 666 Operation Dream Theatre. So ಹೇಮಂತ್ ರಾವ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಏಡಿಯಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನನ್ ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ಪ್ರೇರಣಾ ಗೋಪಾಲ್. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್.
So happy to be here. Very weird. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ I'm like, oh, was it all like this? So so glad to be here. Very excited. I have not done this before. Nobody's ever done this before. So we're doing this because as much as I'm very nervous, I'm very excited.
Yes. So one main reason ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಂಟರ್ಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಸ್ ಸಚ್, ಅದು ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ಲೈಕ್ 7-8 years now on Instagram. So ಆವಾಗಿಂದನೂ I've always wanted to talk to you and understand ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಏಮ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಆಸೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾವು ಫೈನಲಿ ಅದು ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ಗಿಂತ ಒಂದು ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ.
She's a very, what do you say, like very good producer. ಏನೇ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Why not? Yeah, and also, as you said, Ashwin Janarilla who are doing this in front of the screen. A lot of women either, but behind the screen, more often than not, women go unnoticed, or men go unnoticed. It's the efforts. But so glad we met Saifira. Thank you.
Yes.
Whatever little I know, I'm very happy to share, and I hope more women are inspired.
Yes.
It's not something very extraordinary, but then I think the people who are with me make it extraordinary. So I'm hoping something good can be taken away.
Yes. So I don't know where to start and how to start. So let us know a little about you. ನೀವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿರೋದಾ?
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು. I'm that typical Kumara Part girl who went to Sophia High School, and that is because my amma and sister were in the same school. So they're like, oh, why don't you also go to the same school? And then I had like amazing time in Sophia. It was really nice, and also because my sister was the topper. All Andre, I'm first rank girl, and I was the girl who was never in class because I was always either on stage or I was like the narrator in a play. I used to always, goof around and be around people doing things. So half the time, all the teachers were like, so that was always that. So I did have that burden up to the point of that image, but then my parents were super chill. They're like, dude, you're different. Whatever interests you, you do that. So they were super chill that way. So I did my schooling in Sophia. It was super fun being there. Super fun school. And then I went to Mount Carmel College, pre-university at Vashal Marte. I did psychology, economics, sociology and history. And then again, from one gate to the other gate of Mount Carmel, I shifted. So degree no alike, where I did psychology, economics, sociology, history, and had 3 amazing years over there as well. And then, and I think what also made it very cool was one college Kannada Sangha. So ardhakkarda jana gotte illa Kannada Sangha ide Mount Carmel.
That's why I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ದೆನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್, ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಂಘ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ನೋ ವೈ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಬಿ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಂಘ ದೇ ವಾಂಡರ್. ಎಸ್, ದೇ ವರ್ ವೆರಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್, ವೆರಿ ಕೂಲ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಂಘ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ there was a lot of exposure to various forms of folk dancing and a lot of other events that they used to encourage us to be a part of. So I felt like I always was a different kid, which didn't really make my parents' life easy. I also had a lot of energy as a kid, and then yeah, that was just me.
But college time alle itta that you want to start like with movies and TV?
My first exposure to television or like TV or content was nam school alli. I think it was once a month or once in 2 months. Every section of the junior school was taken to one place called the music room. A lot of Safads will know what I'm talking about. So our music room alli, they had Snow White and the Seven Dwarf curtains, which they used to shut. I remember they used to close that, and then they used to, on VCRs, they used to play Heidi and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and all these films, and that was what we used to watch once a month. I think that was a once a term. That was like an extra perk on one Friday or something when we had like a 0 hour. So other noted there. And then of course at home, my best friend and the best part of my growing up was my television. Like cable strike ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ I was the most saddest person back then, because I used to go pray to my TV. Like, cable bharathe, because they're like 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. There's like cable strike. I'm like, just give them their money. I want my cable back, connection back. I used to pray to my TV. I used to do all those things, and my parents were very busy in their work in a good way, and they used to spend as much time as they could with me. But then, Nange, because I was a kid who was so active, and my sister is very passive with her energy. She's like, she will read a book and she'll be happy in one corner. That's not me. And ನನ್ನ ಏಜ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ನೇಬರ್ಹುಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಏರಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಟ ಆಡಕ್ಕೂ. ಇವ್ರು ಐದರ್ ವೆರಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಯಂಗ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಏಜ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ I was just one person, but I used to also be like the +1 to my sister's tuition class. Like, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕ, I don't want to sit there. So allu I used to walk up to like my her tuition teacher's daughter. I'm like, hey Samya, come, we'll go watch channel B. Allu I used to watch TV. And then she's like, oh, okay, cool, this kid is coming along. So they're also TV. And then the auntie who used to help take care of me when I was young, she used to watch a lot of Udaya serials. She used to watch a lot of ETV serials. And then there was no parental control. So I'm watching like Nakutanti, all these serials. And they're like, what did you do all day? I was like, I watched TV. Drama. It was so much fun. So TV was like my best friend. TV never made me feel lonely. It was my emotional support for anything. I just changed the channel and my mood changes. And my whole life revolved around the shows of Cartoon Network, with Tiny King and the Bartittu. My whole life revolved around that. The fondest memory of TV is how it used to bring everybody together at their own schedules.
Yeah.
Which I miss now.
Yeah.
And we're still a nuclear family of 4 people living in one house. But Adrallu, it used to bring people together. Like a 9 p.m. news headlines of that tune used to bring people together.
Yeah.
And then it was multiple mediums. So this was my love for TV. Then it was also radio. So every Monday morning there was Raghu Dikshit's Nalamaharaja Carmel that used to play at 7 a.m. sharp on Radio City. Vasanthi ma'am used to be the morning show host on Radio City. And that was, I think they used to play Hindi songs. It was a Hindi station back then. So our song start aitu andre, that is my mom's cue to push me out of bed and say, go brush your teeth, I'm getting ready for school. And then like literally my whole life revolved around that, now that I think about it. Then 7:45 we had to be out of the house because school was like a 15-minute drive, and 8 o'clock was bell, and my sister was 5 years older to me, so she's like, no diary, no bed, I want to be punctual, and she's like very angry when she's late, but I used to delay her on most days. So by the time,
Would she beat you up for that?
No. So by the time Udaya's like that news, like music started, that was like ultimate bell that rings you in my house for my parents. And then like, news start aitu, headlines, music start aitu, and the whole galaxy used to turn. Remember, it was the planets and solar system and everything turning. They're like, this has started. And then Hireemagaluru Kannada or Sarvagnya used to start. So at the start aitu, and then my sister's getting a note in her diary. That is the cue to my parents saying, 3 notes already done, 3 late file antala. So I think as a family, we just functioned based on these
TV,
timelines.
yeah.
Now that I think about it, it was radio literally tuning us to our timeline and work, and then it was television, and then I think it was a lot of music. My parents love music. So my dad is like a typical, like one cutie who likes old Hindi songs. My mom listens to like very, very random cool things now. She listens to house and EDM also now. She's wow. So, and the South Indian music every morning in my house. So I think it was their cassette collection that got me interested. Like it was music first. Because anybody who used to come home and if they're just randomly waiting, I used to go put on cassette and of they'll say and be like, Auntie Kutkodi Nanu Namakka dance. Those songs. And my sister was not at all an extrovert and she's like, I'm just doing this because this kid asked me to. Okay, fine, maybe this is not so bad. So I think it was also music. But yeah, this is my screen time in life started with this. I guess I can say that. And then of course when I landed up my first internship at Color Pepper, so like, ishtu varsha TV nodidikku
Satkaytu.
you're working in colors. Wow. So yeah, TV has been and cinema has been such a huge part of my life. And going to cinema was such a luxury back then and even now because for me it was luxury in the sense some adult at home has to pause their work and take you to a film.
Correct.
Because when you're younger, you always will have an adult taking you to a film. And my sister and I are 5 years apart. So it's not like, she was only when she came to like 10th or 11th and 12th is when all her friends used to plan to go to films to Sigma Mall and all of that. And that's when, we're like, okay, you will look up for her. And it's just like,
No,
I
I'm not.
can't take her. And I was like, please do
Yeah.
me also. And you're like, you're +1 for life. How can you say this? So I used to like go for movies with them. But then that also, I think like I used to watch like the most randomest movies because there's nothing like parental control or anything. So on like Starwood, I used to watch Hensha, I used to watch Parvarish, and sometimes I never understood. But then I picked up language so well. So my Hindi is so good now because I watched all of that. But then this is all my exposure and experience to it. But from what I've heard of like my parents and everybody, my maternal grandmother really liked the films. And Maneinda, which is in Kumara Park, they would take the back road and take one shortcut to Nataraja Talkies, Sampige Theatre or like Kaveri Theatre, and they used to walk in groups and watch films.
Okay.
And my Ajji used to do like method dressing.
Oh.
Avaga, I was told that Amitabh Bachchan or cinema Wednesday release ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So she used to actually like, magazines alalla avaga photos illa interviews barattalla. So she used to understand what is trending in terms of looks and she used to do like method dressing and dress like the heroine and go to the film. And yeah, it was like super fun. So I think I kind of got it from there. And my dad is also like a super creative person. He's like aesthetic king. Like I can never beat him at like the extra effort he makes to just organize things very nicely, pack gifts very well. My birthday big gifts used to be packed so well. So, I'm like, I think it's just always been around me, but I never chose it. And then it eventually just happened to me. So I'm just like a child of cinema, just there. I'm like, okay, you take me. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
So it wasn't like planned.
No.
You just went like with.
Nan colors joined our internship ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೂ it was my gap year. I was just sitting on the steps of Mysore University because my best friend was writing her entrance exam for MSc in clinical psych. I honestly was very interested in sociology, so I wanted to do cultural sociology, and I also was that person that I just didn't know what to do. And everybody around me, including my parents, was so supportive where they're just like, it's okay. You have time to apply to something if you want. And I wasn't the sorts where back then I would, have everything ready that I know of. Like, I was very kindly, told by my parents saying, you know what, it is okay to know what you don't want. And they never put me on a spot to compare me with my sister, whereas she knew exactly what she wanted. She wanted to go to CLAT, she wanted to prep for CLAT, she wanted to go to like a coaching class, she wanted to take up law, she wanted to go to one of the cool schools in town. So it was a lot of kindness, to be very honest. And not all parents are very patient and kind, so I really owe them that kindness. Yeah.
So television in the film kadege, how did that happen?
That happened, I think, because of like multiple things. So the team of Kirik Party had come to our college to promote the film, and we were like super excited that they're all there. So I sort of crossed all the security guys who were standing there, and I somehow had the chance to speak to Rishabh sir, and the boys who still there. Of course, everybody else, the family cast had left. So I was like, sir, Kannada Sangha like event nadita ide. Will you please come to that auditorium? And that's when he turned and he's like, now we have ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದ್ವಿ ಎಲ್ಲ audition ಗೆ your college miss. So then I very kindly, him and the whole gang of Kirik Party, all the boys came up to the Kannada Sangha event and all of that. And I still remember in front of the old canteen that we have, the driveway in Mount Carmel College, I used to do freelance photography that time. And I was somebody where I had the luxury of a camera, but I didn't have enough skills, to be very honest. And I was learning from friend called Arun. I was, working with improv and, trying to cover events for them, trying to understand how I can, make this better. Then wherever we went on like vacations or trips, I'm like, oh, I'm officially. And I think that medium also really, really holds a huge place in my heart. So I don't know how. I still remember standing there and telling him, say, sir, my photography is tumba interest ide enaru idre heli.
Okay, you told this to Rishabh Shetty
I
sir.
remember saying that in like the college drive, and then there was Avane who was leader of Bheemasena and all of that, and it was very cool. And so I remember saying that, and then cut to like, one of the days in Colors office where one of the persons like ADs from Giants from Bheemasena team was like, hey, we need like a third AD. We need an AD for the third schedule of the film, and we need somebody to handle costumes and stuff and marketing and there's so many other things. Do you want to join us? And I think by then I was kind of saturated with the work that was happening in Colors. I mean, it was a lot of fun because I did like Bigg Boss, which was completely new to me, but I was handheld through that entire process. They're very kind bosses. And then there was like Master Dancer, which was like a dance reality show. And I was like, oh, I love this. I will curate like the run order and I will like, curate themes and all of that because dancing has always been a passion of mine. I haven't had the chance to pursue a form, like full-fledged learning Agila, but then I was like, oh, very cool dance reality show. This is like a win-win for me. So that happened. Then Kannada Kogile happened. But then I think somehow I just took that brave plunge. And also because at every point in time, I remember I've always given enough information to my parents because even for them, they're all lawyers and they're all admin heads. It's a very serious profession for them. And then for them to adapt to this process of something that's completely new and a place that's completely new. And everybody has very critical, strong opinions about people in media. And the previous actions of people have done both good and bad to their image. So suddenly to trust like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old who's like, oh, I want to work in film. Because again in Colors, like, namane hatra office. Okay, auto barbodu. And then, working hours was still quite okay, manageable. You're in a corporate setup. You're in an organized space. You're going to like your set for only 2 days and then you're back and all of that. So this was like a completely different shocker to them. So every time I was finishing like a single or double call sheet, everybody was losing their sleep at home. So until I got back home, my sister, mom and dad used to take turns to stay awake. Until like I got back home and told them, same Villa production car bidutta, nane cabal bartina. And for me also as an individual, I took the plunge. But to continue to muster courage and, like to take a cab back on your own, to not think of 2,000 things that can go wrong is a lot. So it really helps you like, build courage and just step up to the situation and mature like tenfold when you put yourself in these situations. So I think it was just a leap of faith that I took. Again, I chose to come to the films, but then I feel like the films were always somewhere there.
Yeah.
And then it just surfaced and we met. I think that's what happened.
Which is one department that you wanted to be like, no, I want to work in this department specifically?
And then when you're starting off, you don't have a choice. Like for me, I joined the team when they were concluding the shoot of the film. So that time, the only thing that needed somebody to take care of like single-handedly was costumes. Of course, we had Inchara Suresh, who was the designer, and their characters were dressed in and styled in a certain way. They asked to commit agidi for 3/4 of the film. Just a quarter part of the film we had to finish. So that I didn't really have any choice as such. But I think I've always been interested in both art and costumes, and just I just enjoying I just enjoy seeing the fact that um, things are in order because of me. Like those are small joys of life
Yeah.
for me, and that's exactly what you need to strive and work towards as an AD. And also because, see, in Colors, it was just a group of like 5-6 of us who used to work on the creatives or manage things for a senior producer of the show and the director of the show. But Ely, you had like so many people involved. Of course, there were equal number of people involved in the Colors shoot as well. But I had nothing to do with them. But here, you're literally like, seeing like a light being set up, like, amazed. Half the time I used to be like, stop being amazed. Stop being amazed. So yeah, so given a choice, yeah, I think after film school and after all the smaller student productions in which I've done production design, I like art. Right? It's very gratifying.
ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿ ಯಾವುದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು?
Bheemasena.
Bheemasena. Oh, okay.
Bheemasena was
I
the
thought
first film.
I don't know why I have a feeling that first was Avane Srimannarayana and then it was
So
I
when
don't
we
know.
were doing, by the time Bheemasena shooting mugsಕೊಂಡು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ, that is when Avane was also concluding. But I wasn't on set Avane because I was finishing Bheemasena on set. But
Okay.
then the teams used to meet in office when either of us used to be on scheduled breaks or when we finished film, and alle VFX naditittu. We had like edit also happening there. So that is when we used to all just meet.
And was it like okay ಇವಾಗ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನಿಂದ ಮೂವಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಚ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದೋಸ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಶಾಕರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಪ್ಷನ್, ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ನ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐಮ್ ಶೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು 10 times.
See, one thing is, it took me a lot. So when I went like to meet the director Karthik sir, and the direction team was there, the co-director was there, they tried to give me as much information as possible because 3/4 of the film is short. I'm a stranger, so for me it is like, let me absorb as much of the story I can. So they had like a one-line breakdown, they had like like scene papers and everything, where that one-line structure, like skeleton, really helped me understand ಕಥೆಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಏನೇನು ಕಥೆಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. It helped me understand that, but that's again pushing yourself to the deep end to understand as much as possible because you want to help as fast as you can, and you want to not mess up, and you want to help in a way where it's actually speeding up the process and you're being efficient. Trying to get as much information as possible, that is one thing. And major agi ade, you have the comfort of working out of an office setup for 5 days. I mean, even here in prep, we were in an office. We were, at the Pushkar Films office, where we used to prep and everything. But again, because you're joining for like the relay race, ಓಡ್ತಿರವಾಗ like ಪಾಪ ನಾನು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಬಂದು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಟನ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ನನಗೂ ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಟನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಓಕೆ ಐ ರನ್ ಟು ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಐ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತ, ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಲೈನ್ ತನಕ. That trust building process takes time, but it's about how much energy you put in that, and review whatever's done previously, continuity photos, yav character yav tara adella. So
And how did you end up acting in that movie?
so Karthik, the AD Jayan always used to be like, role ide Karthik sir ninge ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ. I was like, dude, I don't know how to act, right? Because I love being on stage because I used to dance. In college, I did Dolu Kumita, I did Yakshagana, I did like Indian contemporary for like Vachanas, adella madde. I didn't know that dancing is very close to like acting and all of that, and also because I'm like, that was back in college. But then he's like, illa hinge heltare. So he said there is a role of Annapurneshwari. If somebody says Annapurneshwari, my first thing is, oh, I'm going to be different.
Devi costume, yeah.
Oh, dude, I was like, worst case, I was like, look, I had my inhibitions, another confidence low, but I was like, hey, but if I'm helping the film, might as well do it. So I remember Karthik sir asked me saying, madam, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಜ್ಜಿದು ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಹಳೆ ಸೀರೆ, ಹಳೆ vintage looking saree ಆ ಥರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ? It's like, yes sir, of course ಇದೆ. And I was like, costume team ಅಂತೂ ಕಟ್ಟಿ. So like, yes sir, ನಾಳೆನೂ options ತರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. I begged my mother and she's like, okay, can you please tell me the purpose of this? You're not going to touch this up, right? You're not going to do
Yeah.
it. These are very nice hand-me-down Kanjivaras. Like, no, I will protect Ajji's stuff. Don't worry. And then I took her sarees and I was like, sir, he didn't. Okay, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಯೂಮ್ ಹೊಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡಿ. I was like, ಹೇಳಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. And then of course the co-director sat me down and saying, this is the scene and you're basically in his imagination you're the loving mother who's cooking for him and you know who's going to feed him and everything. I was like, Arvind, I get smart.
ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೂವಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗದೆ ಆ ಸೀನ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ.
I'm like, okay, Natasha, I will be your mother. Again, see, if you think about it, it's so beautiful. That comes a full circle because I wore Ajji sari for that scene.
Yeah.
That was my first film. That was my first time on camera. So I was like, not so bad. And I love the lighting and the whole ambience and everything. I was like, I feel so divine and beautiful. And then in my heart, I was like, oh, is this all actors feel like everything? Oh, so cool. I was that person, but yeah, that's how I ended up. Only because it was my Ajji series and Karthik sir had an eye for like casting great people. Like a cameo. I have acting credits for it online, which is very, very funny. Yeah, so that side has listed me as actor.
Oh.
Oh wow!
Let me encash this now.
This is IMDb maybe.
ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಹ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರು, ವಿ ಗೋಣ ಸಿ ಯು ಆನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹಂಗೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಶಿ ಆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಮೂವಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರೇಲರ್. ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಆ ಫುಡ್, ದ ಹೋಲ್ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ವಿ ವರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಚ್ಚ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನಾದರೂ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು.
And that whole general vibe of that film, you know, I miss people making such feel-good films.
Yeah.
It was so wholesome. And even for us on set, you know, we used to see all the property, like, oh my god. And I was such a new person who thinks I didn't even know which side of the clap to stand. Sometimes hingela hitbut ee kade antalla. Cool. So yeah, well, it was fun. And then suddenly they like edit report for it. Okay, cool. I was like, okay, because for me, what I started doing was I was drawing parallels between what I was doing in colors and here. So for me, I was like, okay, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎಡಿಟರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಫುಟೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಗೋದು. And that was not something anybody asked me, but I still made a note of it. And I was glad I was like, you know, like doing that extra thing. So, and I was like, oh, okay. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಯಾವ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕವರೇಜು ಯಾರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಎಡಿಟ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ನ ದ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಎಡಿಟರ್ as well as the main editor will see that ಅಂತ. Then just like how we used to prep for like a theme, here you're prepping for your scene. Then when we're doing there, of course we're shooting with all the, you know, talents who are there and all the contestants. Same way your actors for the day will be told over here one program sheet barutte alla hinge bartittu. So it's very similar. It is just that it is adapted to the format. So I was just trying to correlate things and work out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Figuring it out.
ನೀವು ಅಂದರೆ ಅವನೇ ಶ್ರೀಮನ್ನಾರಾಯಣ ಫುಲ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ?
So Avane, I was there from when Bheemasena ಮುಗಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಔಟ್ಡೋರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿ we came back to Bangalore. That is when we were finishing the shoot of Avane in Abhiman. So I wasn't at that point in time actively a part of production, but just with the drop of the hat, every time office ಇಂದ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಕಾರು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಸೆಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, can I go for some time and come, because that was like a very huge set and multiple sets. Like Abhiman Studio, we had like 3 blocks where we had 3 different forts that were like, you know, sort of like set up and erected. So that was like a huge thing for me, and I was like always like been that doe-eyed girl watching Rakshasa. So every time I used to be like, oh my god, I'm on this set. So I used to be that person, and of course that was age. And then it was eventually a lot of respect for him as a writer, director, and actor, and all of that. But yeah, I wasn't actively a part of the production as such. But for promotion and release, I was there.
If I'm wrong with my fact check, I'm sorry, but EP ಆಗಿದ್ರ ಆ ಮೂವಿಗೆ?
Not for Avane, I was EP for Avatara Purusha.
Okay, for Avatara
Because the
Purusha.
team of Avane was already on autopilot mode. They were also concluding the film.
Okay.
So I was only majorly there for like the social media stuff or like the promotion and release that was happening. Teasers release martidvi. So after Bheemasena, I became an in-house person in Pushkar Films, where I did a little bit of office admin work. I did a little bit of everything that came my way. and all credits to him and Sudhi sir, Mrs. Sudarshan, who gave me so much work. And for me, it was on the job learning. So everything that came to me, I for one, I didn't know whether I had the authority to say nanid ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Because ನನಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೊಸದು, ನಾನು ಹೊಸಬ್ಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಏನೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಂದ್ರು ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಕೆಲಸ ಬಂದಾಗ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I'm very like I'm fueled by values, I'm fueled by things taught to me and told to me as a child. So it's like if you say no to doing something new, you're saying no to knowledge, you're saying no to learning. So I come from that mindset where I'm like, oh, you illa andre, like I want to learn something. Or even if somebody else is doing something new, I'm like, I want to know this, what is this?
Yeah.
I was the curious kid running everywhere around that office to know what was happening. So yeah, so after I became in-house in Pushkar Films, it was just doing everything.
Nice. This is so nice because yakandre while we both were working in a small startup company, and that's our first encounter with Gen Z. So they are so like, illa nange ishte kelsa barodu, ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡೋದು, why are you giving me this work? And me and her would be like, macha, when did we like you said, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೋ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. We are like, okay, somehow we'll figure it out, ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, and we would be excited about that. But the whole Gen Z work pattern,
and that shift was so different. Like we never thought ಯಾವ ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೂ ಬೇಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ, because there is a learning always ಅನ್ನೋ concept.
So that is one. Then you bear, as a millennial, you will bear that guilt. It will haunt you. So that is one thing. But then what I also really like about like Gen Z sort of, you know, being so assertive about what they're going to do and not do is it's going to make you better and direct you towards one goal and create a niche for yourself. Okay, you're not going to be you know,
Scattered,
always master of none, atara agalla. But then that also comes from the confidence and from the fact that your knowledge processing channels environment is also so vast now that you can filter what you want to learn and what you want to be. Right? But namge avag hengandre, I did not know of as many Instagram channels or YouTube channels or books or anything that was going to guide me to do my work. It was just on the job learning.
Correct.
And when it's on the job learning, and when you know your environment is not very conducive to this, and it's all just by observational learning. So when it is that, you always have this fear of missing out. At least I did.
yeah.
And this is why the fear of missing out just kept making me work.
Yeah.
And I think it is because of that I don't. When I look back, it's very few things that I don't know. Method change ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, right? The larger task and the idea process will be the same. Maybe the technique would have changed, maybe the way of doing it is changed, and changed in the sense it's better. So again, I'm in that loop of FOMO where I was like, I don't know this.
Yeah.
How do I keep up with all the information that the world is putting out there, you know? So it's that. But with Gen Z sort of like being assertive about what they will do and not do, again, that's also based on the work environment you create. If you're being hostile, of course, that's what you'll get in return. But if you're going to create a common ground and make things amicable, saying, and let them know that what they're saying no to is consequential later on for something that will eventually come to them, you might as well give them a head start about this and give them a background to what is going to come to them next, right? So it's about communicating that, I feel, to them as an idea.
And also I think we have learned to draw the boundaries from them, like to tell, okay, you know, this is what I am called for and this is what I'm being paid for. I'll do this, but if you want me to do other things also, you have to give me that space. I think that we have learned from the
But the part about filmmaking here in the Indian context is ನೀವು ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. It is the truth of life. Because I tell you what, every department, every individual has to work so closely to finally bring that vision of the director and the DOP and everybody else involved to life, and mostly work in service of the story. That is what my directing instructor Scott used to always say, work in service of the story. When you are doing that, it is a selfless and a thankless process. But my whole idea to that is, if you have signed up for it, please have enough knowledge of either being an intern or an apprentice, and understanding that this is how much is demanded of you because it is very demanding physically and mentally. ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು sign up for it. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ don't.
Yeah.
Because once you're in the loop, there is no way you can, there's very less scope for you to slack. So it demands perfection because you're creating something that the audience is not familiar with, right? So yeah, that way you need to really be aware of what you're getting down and dirty with.